Hello, my name's Dean Crawford. I'm a professor of accounting in the School of Business at SUNY Oswego. I teach principles of accounting. I also teach tax accounting. I spent a lot of time as a tax accountant before going into teaching, and so I love doing that. I was a practicing accountant for about 7 years in Buffalo, and I was working there, and I called up an old professor one day, because I remembered when I was a student that sometimes they would have people coming in to teach classes, and I said, "So what do you got to do that?" And he said, "Send me your resume," which I did. Next thing I know, he's calling me up to ask me to teach an accounting course. Actually, that one was advanced accounting, which was a little bit of a shock. I said, "You realize I've never taught anything before?" He said, "You'll be fine." Very shortly after that, I started thinking about it and said, this is where I really should be. Well, I always enjoy teaching tax specifically because it's a field that I know pretty well, and I enjoy teaching the students about how to go about finding things that can help their clients. But most fun I ever had as an accountant was when I would find something that would save the client $5,000 or $6,000. They love you when you do that. Well, I've done a number of different things in research. What I'm doing now is primarily taking tax situations that I find interesting and discussing it in papers that I would write for the professional audience. So something like a new change in the way they tax dependents with income from savings that their parents have set up. There's a lot of changes in that field that have taken place with the new Tax Act, and so I've got something going on right now where I'm writing to professionals about how that's changed and what's new and what is different from the way it was before. I was an English major and suddenly switched to accounting, so I didn't know anything about this stuff. And then I learned it and got pretty good at it, and so I forget, what is it like for somebody who doesn't know what, they've heard the term liability but didn't really know its technical definition. And so now the students will, with the questions they ask, they'll come back to me and say, "Oh, you know what? I didn't know a liability. I thought liability just meant something bad." No, that's how people use it in conversation. But in accounting, it means a debt, something we owe, an obligation that we have to satisfy one way or another. So a very different way of looking at it.